Hey guys, Neil here again from Repolog Phase. Taking this opportunity to show something I've never seen before, a Prusa Mendel sitting beside a Sells Mendel. I just want to sort of give you a rundown of the differences between these two machines. The Sells Mendel, which is on your left, costs $650 to put together, plus the RP parts go for about $250 to $200. So somewhere between $800 and $900 to put one together. The Prusa Mendel over here is $350, $400 put together, and $100, $150 for the RP. So around $500, between $400 and $500. Yeah, no, between around $600 to put together total if you self-source it. The RP parts are cheaper just because there's a lot less of it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the differences between the two here step by step, just sort of give you an idea of the differences between the Prusa and the Sells Mendel. The big difference that you're going to notice with the Prusa Mendel is that it has two stepper motors on the z-axis, where the Sells Mendel only has one. The main reason that the Prusa Mendel went to two steppers was because you can actually pick up the stepper motors for about somewhere between $10 and $20 a piece. But the belt's pretty much consistently going to cost you around $10, $15 to get. So you end up getting twice the stepper motors. It ends up costing about the same. And whenever these are electrified, they actually lock together. So you can run two steppers off of one stepper controller, no problem. I haven't seen anyone have any issues out of that at all. Another difference between the Prusa and the Sells is the Sells Mendel uses two sizes of bearings, and the Prusa uses one size of bearing, 608, and the Sells uses the 624 bearing and a 608 bearing. 624s are these little ones right here and right here. You usually cannot source these locally. You're going to have to order them online. They cost around 30-40 cents a piece. So you're looking at usually over $50-60 just in bearings for this version of the Mendel. The Prusa Mendel uses only 608 bearings, which are skateboard bearings. That has the side effect of you do not have to split your belts. You can just, if you're in the United States, you can buy this is actually a 1/4 inch belt here. You don't have to split your belt. So you only use three bearings, one there, one over there on the other side of the y-axis, and then one right here. So 3 bearings, and you can use a much easier to get hold of belt. Speaking of belting, this one uses a continuous belt on the z-axis, and there is no continuous belt on this one. Fasteners. There are as many fasteners in this one piece of the Sells Mendel as there is in this whole machine, which is just really bizarre to think of it that way, but there are actually more fasteners if you add all of these up than there is for this whole machine. So what you end up having is I think it's 200-300 fasteners for the Sells Mendel, and you have, I think it's like 30 or 40. Also, you have two different sizes of fasteners for this. You have lots of M3 at, I think, 2 different sizes, M4 at 3 different sizes. And for the Prusa Mendel, you have only 2 M4s, I think, at this point. And the rest are M3s. I think there's only 2 lengths of those. So just a lot less variety of stuff you need on that. The Sells Mendel, you're going to at least need this one piece of laser cut right here. All the rest, when you see a Sells Mendel, usually you're going to see a big bar across here and a bar down here. Most people have went to single board solution for electronics, or at least stack board like the ramps by Ultimate Machine, or a single board like this Gen 6 by by Mendel Parts. So you just don't need as much mass of RP. These actually go for around the full set with this and build platform and all that's going to run you usually around $30 on the internet. With the Prusa, you can actually usually get your hardware store to cut it for you. So you can actually get the glass section of your hardware store to cut the acrylic to size for you, and they will cut. Well, I know my local Lowe's was willing to cut my wood for me. I actually cut it at home, but they would have been willing to cut it if I wanted them to cut it. Um, when I was speaking about the bearings earlier, the Mendel did an experiment where they actually used knuckles of bearings, like right here. This is actually a better example of it, to simulate linear bearings. Um, Ended up costing a lot of money to do it that way. So the Prusa went back to bushings like what the Darwin did. So you're going to notice here I actually have a brass or bronze bushing. Actually, this is what a PLA bushing looks like. This is a polylactic acid bushing. That's the other one you can use. You just machine them out, and they run just as smooth as the brass bushing. The reason I'm using a brass bushing is because I know brass bushings are not ever going to wear out. These have, well, there it goes. Those have not had much issue wearing out. I'm just being paranoid. Also, with the Sells Mendel, they did another experiment on it. They used these springs, printed springs. Oh, didn't mean that to happen. Well, anyway, they're a little more fragile than what the Prusa uses. Prusa actually uses pin springs. So you just take them out of a ballpoint pen, put them on your bolts, good to go. Didn't mean to snap that there. Let's see, other things. All the RP parts have been cut down. So you'll notice this big giant block here to hold the smooth rod there. This clip. The vertexes have been shrunk significantly. Where this is a giant assembly of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 RP parts. This is one RP part that basically serves the same function. The belt's also shorter, and it won't wear itself down as much just because it's not making it go through all sorts of convoluted circles to do its job. I'm trying to think if there's much of anything else different between these two machines. Cover the belt and the laser cut. One thing you will notice with the Sells Mendel is you see a lot of variation of the print quality. One reason for that, in my opinion, is that there's just a lot more going on. You think of it this way: just to get your y-axis to move correctly, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of RP. You've got 20 some bearings. You've got your laser cut pieces, and you've got all these, and all these have to be lined up just right. Well, if you look at a Prusa, it's got 4 clips and a board. It's just a whole lot easier. And the good thing about a bushing compared to a bearing is a bearing, if it's not perfect, will actually still work. If it's not perfectly in line, you can get brass bushing or linear or bearings that are not 100% perfect to actually work perfectly or work pretty well. But with bushings, it's either going to work or it's not. So if you've managed to get it to go back and forth across the axis and not bind, it's perfect. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here that I'm missing. So I'll just go over this real quick, see if there's anything I'm missing here. Doesn't look like it. So both these will print, and they do well, and they're both significant part of the rep wrap community. Prusa's just cheaper and easier to put together. Sells Mendel, every time I put it together, it took me 2 days, and I've put 3 of these together. Or the Sells have took me 2 days every time, never done it any faster. The Prusa I've put together 3 times, I think 3 times, and I can usually get one of these together in about 8 hours if I hurry. So anyway, that's all the differences I can think, and hope this relieved some confusion.